Hey guys, it's Morgan here. I'm Morgan Wright. I'm gonna do a labor and delivery video today because it's my son's birthday and I feel like it's appropriate. So I'm gonna do that, and I put it off for a year because, I haven't been on for like over a year. So I'm gonna do it now because Garrett's with his dad, and so I thought, hey, now's my opportunity to do it, and it's perfect timing because it's his birthday. Okay, so I was due January 6th, and I didn't have him until January 8th, so I was a couple days late. Okay, so on January 6th, no, probably like really late January 6th, I felt like I was in labor, and like, yeah, it was terrible feeling, and I was in so much pain that I just wanted to die. So I went to the hospital. I was like, hey, I am hurting like really bad. He's not kicking as much as he usually does. Can you check me, make sure I'm not dilated, whatever. And they said that he has dropped and he's head down, so that's good, but you're not dilated, your water hasn't broke, whatever, I was like, okay, cool. So they're like, okay, so just go home, do what you would do, walk, put yourself into labor. Like, okay, whatever. This is my first time having kids, so I don't know what labor is supposed to feel like, so I feel like it's not labor yet. If they say it's not labor, it's not labor. But anyway, so I went home. Everything was good, except for I was still in pain, so I just kind of like ignored it, thinking it was normal, and I was just whatever. And so, this was like late January 6th. And then the next day, I was in a lot of pain again, so around like 4 or 5 or so, I went in, 4 or 5 at night, and I went in again, and I was like, hey, I came in here last night, and you guys said I was perfectly fine, but can you please check me again, because I'm serious, I am in a lot of pain. And they're like, okay, so they checked me, and everything was good, same thing as yesterday, nothing changed. Like, okay, whatever. So I went back home, and then that morning, about 4 or 5 in the morning, 4 or 5 in the morning-ish, I couldn't do it. I was like, Mom, because I couldn't sleep, I was in a lot of pain, I didn't care what the doctor said, I was going into the hospital, I was gonna have this baby. I could not do it anymore. Because the original plan was that he was gonna induce me or whatever, a week from the 6th, so like, the 14th of January or something like that. Anyways, and so I was like, I can't wait that long. I need to get in, and I hurt really bad. So I went in, and they checked me and everything was the same, which I figured. And then they called my doctor, and they're like, what am I going to do? She's been in here twice already in a lot of pain. The baby has dropped, but, whatever. And so the doctor came in, and he brought out that long stick to pop my water. And he's like, your water's already popped. And he's like, from the sounds of it, it's been popped for about 2 days. And I was like, oh my gosh, you guys are idiots. I told you I was in pain. And so my water was popped for like 2 days. And I didn't even, they asked me, they're like, have you been leaking? And I was like, well, yeah, isn't that normal? And they're like, yeah, it's pretty normal, whatever. And, because like I said, this is my first baby, so I don't know what it's supposed to feel like and what it's supposed to look like. I figured they would know, because they're the doctor or whatever. So, they're like, okay, so we need to get some IVs on you, we gotta get you going, you're gonna have this baby. So I was like, oh my gosh, hectic. And I could not get dilated if it were to save my life. But then over the hours and stuff, I got dilated. So I was in labor for like 48 hours or so, and it was painful. And so, I told them that I wanted an epidural and all that stuff, so they hooked me up to IVs, gave me an epidural, gave me a lot of medication and stuff, and I had this, I don't remember what it's called, but it's when the baby comes out of the birth canal, the baby can catch it and get really sick and die or whatever, and so, they gave me medicine to treat that and keep that under control, and then, yeah, so I eventually got dilated to like an 8 or 9 or something like that, and I was in so much pain, like, oh my gosh. And I was like, are you sure this epidural's working, because it really hurts? And they're like, yeah, it should be working, and blah blah blah. So they call the anesthesiast again, and they're like, make sure it's working. And then he's like, okay, it's working, it's good, we're good. So anyways, and then by the time I was like 9 centimeters dilated, they were getting all the baby crap everywhere and getting everything prepared, and I was like, ah! I was so nervous and so hurt and pain at the same time. And then it was just overwhelmed with all sorts of things. And my mom was in the room, and Corey was in the room with me. My mom had one leg, and Corey had the other leg. And, so by the time I was 10 centimeters dilated, they told me to push. And so I was pushing, and I was pushing, and I was only pushing for about 45 minutes. And then all of a sudden, Garrett pops out, and the doctor has to like catch him because he's coming out so fast, I guess. And so they're all getting him, and like normally they put them right back on the chest, because I asked him to put him on my chest right after I gave birth to him, but they couldn't do that because I had that stupid thing, and they had to like clean him up and whatever and make sure he didn't have it. And so I was like, okay, whatever. And yeah, so I was really pushing for 45 minutes, and it hurt really bad. Like, I don't remember much of it, but from what I remember, it pretty much hurt. But, yeah, that's just what happens when you have a baby, right? Right. And so, he sews me up and gets me all cleaned up and whatever, and me and Corey go upstairs to the mom and baby center or whatever, where the nurses take care of the baby while the mama gets some rest and stuff. And so we get all ready to go up there and stuff, and we get into our room, and the doctor comes in to see how we're doing, and he's like, oh, and Morgan, there's one thing that I should probably tell you. I was like, what? And he's like, your epidural did not work throughout the whole entire thing. The anesthesiologist was very sorry and didn't realize that it was not working. And so I gave birth naturally. No drugs, no nothing, because they thought the epidural was working perfectly fine. But it wasn't. I wasn't lying. Ugh. Evil people. I hate nurses. Sometimes they piss me off because they're stupid. But anyways, yeah, my epidural wasn't working, so that hurt really bad. So I'll never know what it feels like to give birth with an epidural. So yeah, I did give him naturally. It was not a C-section. I never did do a postpartum video, but I can show you guys my body right now, like what my stomach looks like now, but it's kind of not that attractive, so I'm good. But anyways, so yeah, and then we stayed in the hospital for about 2 or 3 days. Garrett, he had problems breathing for like a while. He had like not enough oxygen or whatever, so they had to have him in the nursery for a while, to keep him under the heat lamp and give him oxygen through his nose. But that was only for like a couple hours, and then he was perfectly fine after that, and then I had him. And then we went home the next day. No, it wasn't the next day, it was the day after the next day. Yeah, it was the day after the next day. But it was a really, really crazy experience. I don't know. So, anyways, he's 2 years old today. He was born January 8th at 10:15 a.m. He was 7 pounds, 3 ounces, 20 inches long. And he was born in Logan Regional Hospital. Sorry, I can't hear, and it drives me crazy. Because I have a cold, and so my ears are clogged. Anyways. So, yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna go show you guys, like, my stomach and stuff. Hold on. Give me the chair. So, this is me now. No baby. Not pregnant. You know. So, yeah. Front. Back. I can't do the back. Woo. Whatever. marks from him when I was pregnant with him. I have stretch marks on my stomach a lot, you guys. I still have them, so it's whatever now. So yeah, comment, subscribe, like, all that stuff for my videos would be amazing, perfectly awesome. So yeah, thank you guys for watching so much. Mwah. Love you, bye.